Live again from the crash satellite of VOG at the VOG Suite at DragonCon 2016. My name is Bobby Blackwolf, and this is the VOG Night 2, the Saturday night of the VOG Network Supershow. I don't even know what we're calling this. My name is Bobby Blackwolf, host of the Bobby Blackwolf Show at the Voice of Geeks Network at VOGnetwork.com. I am joined by other people here on the VOG Network that were not here last night. At least most of them haven't. Tell us who you are.
I'm Gary. I'm with the Critical Myth podcast. Along with my hosts, we talk about TV shows in case you haven't started listening to us yet.
I forgot to turn up the other mics. He's Gary from the Critical Myth podcast.
Yes, Gary from the Critical Myth podcast. If you haven't listened to our show yet, give us a listen. We talk about current TV shows and how cool they are.
I'm Brad from PodCulture and PodCulture Tardis Interruptus. About an hour after you guys on Monday nights.
That's right, and I'm John from Jersey. I am the lead host for the Critical Myth Show, along with Gary from Jacksonville.
It is weird with you two guys being in the same room.
Yeah, we recorded almost 700 shows and never recorded together.
The magic happens here at the VOG
DragonCon.
Suite. Yes.
That's right.
Right here at the VOG Suite. Who are you today, by the way?
I am Kaoru Nagasa from Evangelion.
So you've been cosplaying a lot. Like yesterday, who were
yeah.
you?
I was Yato from Noragami yesterday.
And you got some money.
I did.
You were a hug whore? Is that what it was?
Actually, there was no hugging involved.
No.
But Yato, the character from Noragami, is a kind of down on his luck minor god in the pantheon, and so he is going around looking for work. And so in the show, you usually have some kind of graffiti that he puts on the walls, and it usually says, "Hey, delivery god, here's my number," and he usually charges 5 yen. So I had a little sign that said 5 yen, and people actually wanted pictures with me and gave me money for the pictures because
Nice.
Yeah,
And so your cosplay career has begun.
that's right. I'm now going to be a pro cosplayer.
You're not going to be on TBS? Yes.
No.
Or Sci-Fi has the cosplay show.
Right, yeah. And you're cosplaying as well because normally every other time I've seen you, you're wearing a Star Trek uniform.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek fan.
Of some sort.
Yes.
But I've been trying to diversify a little bit lately. So last year I did Captain America, and this year, while I don't have my hat on at the moment, I'm doing the Golden Age Flash. So it's nice, easy costume in my book. Any costume I can do without spandex is my kind of costume.
Yes. So speaking of spandex, we've had another day here at DragonCon. Brad, you were here with us last night, but what have you guys seen so far this year at DragonCon that has impressed you?
I saw a combination Harlequin Deadpool, which was kind of interesting. I also saw Teletubbies Deadpool, which I still cannot get out of my head. Please help me.
Yeah, that just sounds scary.
It was.
Yeah, earlier on today, I was at an Assassin's Creed cosplay photo shoot. So yes, this is actually the third outfit I've been in today.
You're crazy.
Today.
I am crazy.
You're insane.
Today. Yes. But
I need to be sent pictures of all these because we're doing this on the radio feed,
right.
but we're also doing it on YouTube. So I want to just scroll at the bottom all pictures of what you've tried. Right now, hopefully right now they're all scrolling on the screen.
You bring
That's
Bucky?
right. No, I did not, unfortunately, because my hair's not back long enough to do that one. Thanks for rubbing that in, by the way, Brad. But yes, so at the Assassin's Creed shoot, there was someone who was in the movie is coming out later this year in the movie outfit, and it was hyper detailed. I mean, just beads just everywhere, and really looked screen accurate. So that was really amazing. And then I just have to say that I've never seen so many interesting versions of Pokemon in one room.
Yeah.
But they're right downstairs.
Yeah.
That Vulpix is memorable.
My personal favorite was the 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes throwing Pokeballs at various Pikachus.
They have to catch them all.
Yes.
At that Assassin's Creed shoot, was there anybody with no skin and just eye muscles and eyes and lips?
No.
Okay. Why didn't anybody do that?
Probably a little expensive to do that and pull it off.
That would be a lot of makeup work.
It would.
But it'd be so germane to all the issues.
Yes, it would be.
Because when I think Assassin's Creed, that's what I think now, unfortunately.
That's what a lot of people think. But,
faces are hard.
Yeah.
Faces are hard.
Faces are hard.
I'd say the most memorable costume I've seen hasn't been at DragonCon. and I might be a little prejudiced at this one, but my co-host Glenn one year was Pinhead from Hellraiser.
That would be impressive to see.
Mhm.
Yes.
6 and something hours of makeup, he said, to do
Wow.
that.
And I saw a puppy monkey baby.
Oh, dear Lord. I think that's more horrifying than the Deadpool Teletubby.
Yes, I saw the Deadpool
Telepool?
Teletubby as well.
Definitely
Or
more
Dead Tubby.
terrifying.
Pardon me?
Dead Tubby or Telepool?
I really don't want to put that much thought into it. So,
Telepool sounds like a teleporting Deadpool.
Yeah.
So I would think it has to go the other way
Okay.
around.
Dead Tubby is
Dead Tubby?
probably as better. Yeah.
Sounds like a zombie Teletubby.
So did anybody get to watch the parade this morning? No.
Saw some of it. at
Yes,
the very
some of
beginning.
Yeah,
Some
so
of it.
I even looked out where we've got a balcony here on the 18th floor, and I stepped out for about 30 seconds before getting vertigo and went back inside and watched on TV. The memorable thing there that I saw was because we talked about the carpet, the infamous Marriott carpet, and you're like, did somebody wrap their truck in it? Well, not only did somebody wrap their truck in the Marriott carpet,
I do have pictures of that.
good. Please send them to me so I can put them on the screen. Somebody wrapped their Mustang.
Yes, I saw the
Okay.
car wrapped as
All
well.
right.
Yes.
Are we talking one of the cool new Mustangs or newer Mustangs?
I
that
couldn't
are like
tell-
the old muscle cars.
I-
No,
it
no,
was a
it was
newer-
newer.
it was a
It was
newer-
like 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that are kind of cool looking
Mhm.
again. But yeah, because I had a friend of mine had a Mustang that looked like a hatchback. No, that's not a Mustang.
Yeah, I had a 2004, but it was a convertible, so it couldn't look like a hatchback. But that was before the refresh in 2005.
I love the 2005, 2006.
The 66 fastback was kind of nice though, and that looked like a hatchback.
81 Camaro still does.
So yeah, so somebody wrapped their Mustang in the Marriott carpet. There was an entire block of people dressed up with the carpet in some way.
And even and it's prevalent throughout the con. People have it on their have made handbags out of it, hats, jackets,
Playboy
skirts.
bunny costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. Anyway,
I didn't say it was a problem.
But yeah, so yeah, they're decorating it in just about every way, shape, fashion, and form. Somebody even had a sheet made out of the pattern, and they threw that down so people could have it on. They even had a bring your old piece of carpet because people were actually selling the carpet. And
You bought one.
I had one.
and
I've got a piece.
and reassemble it in place so you could take
That would
pictures
be
of it.
so awesome.
they did.
I know.
They did. They got about probably, and honest, I'd say when it was done, probably like 9 square feet maybe of it or so. But
Yeah, I got a 12 by 12 one for the studio.
I got a smaller piece too. I'll admit it.
Now, what was interesting is we learned this actually after we recorded yesterday. So this was kind of interesting because I was thrown out. Yeah, there was a bumper on Dragon Con TV that said, everybody hated the Marriott carpet when it was installed. And so, then they, now they love it, but everybody hated it just like they hate the current carpet. And then we turn out that was your question.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually. I can't remember if it was Facebook or Twitter, but Dragon Con TV has solicited to get people's questions, and I threw up maybe about a half dozen or a dozen of them, and they actually did use one of them. I was thrilled to see it.
And it was about the carpet.
Yeah, it was.
So the informative bumper about the Marriott carpet was because of Gary the Great.
Gary the Great. Yeah.
Gary the Great. You're famous, man.
In other words,
Thank you.
Gary from Jacksonville.
Never had that actually on any social media tag, but yeah,
Well, I've known you for a while, man.
that's true.
So what panels did you guys see today, or were you in today? Because I know you guys host a lot of panels.
Yes. Let's see. I went to a panel led by scientists on how to destroy the world, how to literally obliterate all life from the planet. And they came up with everything from viruses to increasing our CO2 emissions to cook us out, even to what was it? Planetary orbital mechanics on how to shoot a moon off of one planet and bounce it off another moon until it strikes the Earth. So like you're playing pool with the solar system.
I was going to say pool or pinball there.
Yeah, pool. Yeah, but yeah, connect the shot and So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it's you hope it's hypothetical, but science can be hilarious too. So it was a lot of fun. I also went to a panel on killjoys today, and that was that's a lot of fun. It's a science fiction show that's the Sci-Fi Network is actually putting out. That's good. We used to harp on sci-fi for a long, long time about doing utter dribble days of the week, and I won't even break into Sharknado so much more.
Hey,
more than to
Sharknado
much
is
mention
awesome.
it. Anyway,
the second one was fine.
but to actually put out good science fiction that's not that kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff hadn't happened for nearly a decade on the thing. Now they besides Killjoys, they have another show, Dark Matter, and they're really good science fiction shows. And I almost can't believe that I'm saying they are good science fiction.
Well,
shows
but I mean, we're happy.
Sci-fi. Yeah,
we're happy about it.
So I hope it's a good thing. Anyway, the panel was good. We got into a lot of things people like about characters, as well as some of the plot lines and what we think the whole sort of overarching mystery is about and where it's going to end up. So yeah, it was quite enjoyable.
Is sci-fi making good science fiction one of the ways we can destroy the Earth?
No, I think we might save it that way.
Okay, good.
Love Killjoys and Dark Matter. Fills a very Firefly kind of hole in my life.
There are, especially Killjoys. I agree with you. I'm not so sure about Dark Matter, but Killjoys definitely gives you that same sort of flavor. I guess is a good way to put it.
And are these shows that you guys review on Critical Myth?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
We review both of them, and we've been, as far as I know, that we've been rating them pretty highly for our show averages. John's usually our numbers guy, so I'll deploy to him, but defer to him. But it's been getting good. We've been
both
getting
of them
good
have been doing pretty well. They've both been doing better this season than they did their first seasons. But Killjoys edges out Dark Matter at the end of the day when we have everybody's contribution taken into account. That's one of the things that we like to do on our show is that we don't just have one or two of us score. If possible, we try to get a whole bunch of scores and then average them up and then see. That way we have more of a community feel.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll not only take ours, but we'll dip back into the VOG network to get other viewers or other people's opinion as well. And sometimes we'll love something and somebody will come out, like I believe one of our people who contributes, Flacco Jones.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll despise it and not that particular show, but an episode of some other show, and we sort of scratch our heads and we really do make an effort to understand his point of view on it. And
I have to try to understand his point of view on things as well when he tells me things that are untrue.
But it's not that they're invalid, and
yes, they are.
Sometimes I understand his point, but I don't agree with it.
I think with Dark Matter, Zoe Palmer, Android.
Correct.
Her character she's so much cooler on Dark Matter than she was on Lost Girl, I think.
I have no problems with her on any shows, but that's just me.
Since she got the upgrade, that character's gotten really interesting.
Yeah, what we're talking about is the character is an android in a very mechanical fashion, and she's given a chip that I don't want to say gives her emotions quite like the level that Data did in Next Generation, but it definitely makes her her appearance and her actions seem more human. So it is definitely an upgrade, and it gives the actress a chance to not be so stiff, to actually emote things sometimes, and also have a little action as opposed to somebody who's literally sort of a narration voice during the show.
Yeah. But even the subtle differences between her and then the red-suited one, the hologram android, even the differences just between the two androids.
Yeah, there's a virtual edition of her that's sort of hardwired into the ship, and then there's an actual physical robot that at least began with the same personality, even though it has split.
Cool. What panels about you were you in today? When you weren't posing for pictures?
Oh, yes. Well, this morning I did a panel on Game of Thrones, the last season that ended just a few months ago. And that was nice and spirited. Everybody was really You remember some of the panels that I've had with Game of Thrones. This
Yes.
is my third year, actually, so it's really nice to have the continuity of people that year after year talking about the same show. And but this time it was a pretty positive atmosphere as far as the crowd. We had a lot of great questions. It was very interactive, so it was a lot of fun. And just by virtue of the fact that this was one of the more popular seasons of the show, there was just a lot of positive things to say. So it's better.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is 2 years ago, I went to the first time you were on the
yes.
Game of Thrones panel, and there was this dude who was dressed as John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. I remember that. I don't know why I remember that, but he was. And I think he was like the husband of one of the other panelists or something.
Yes.
But he was about to throw down, and one of the rules set out at the beginning of this panel is this is about the show, not the books. And he started going into the books, and everybody started yelling at him. He just started throwing down. He's like, "No, I'm going to talk about this."
And he was beyond 3 sheets to the wind. I think he was barely able to stand, but he was like, I'm going to fight you over the fact that you can't talk about the books. And I think it was actually something about the character Arya that I was talking about, and he got so angry. He was just ready to
So wait, so you're telling me that he was drunk, but he knew things?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was about twice as tall as you would expect.
Yeah, and he was wearing James. Yeah, and he was wearing a big Western dude,
Right.
armed guy.
Reminds me of the picture you were showing us last night. Jon Snow White.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to send me that too, so I can put it on here so everybody can see what that looks like.
It's awesome. So that was the first thing this morning, and then this afternoon I did a panel on the CW show, The 100, which is kind of like Game of Thrones on the CW. If there's any other way to describe it, it's post-apocalyptic, and but there's a lot of different factions that are always vying for control and power, and so it's similarly themed. So it kind of made sense to do that today, and that one also very. A little more contentious because of the material, but everybody in the room was pretty good about it, and nobody was arguing with one another, but it was just the topics were a little more controversial because kind of infamously there were certain events that took place in that show this past season, particularly the sudden demise of one of the more prominent LGBT characters that didn't necessarily dance around it, but also we were trying not to make the entire hour about that.
Right.
But good material overall for both panels today.
If that's who I think it is, I haven't made it that far.
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers.
No. But,
Spoilers.
I've actually been really impressed with that show. Not CW, I think, stepped up their game a lot in the past couple of years.
Well, it's a lot of fun and pretty poignant when you have people in the audience that are explaining why certain events that have taken place in the season hit them really hard in terms of things that happen in their own life, and it kind of got into that territory, which it's kind of one of the things that you can have at Dragon Con is because there's these fan panels. You do get people that that's their outlet, so it can be a pretty positive thing when everybody is kind of coming together during the panel and kind of letting it be a little therapeutic at the same time.
Well, I agree. Even as John and I do a podcast together, and we're able to bounce ideas off each other. There's a lot of people out there that don't have that. They're the only person in the house that loved a particular show, whether it's Game of Thrones or the 100 or something, and they don't get that sort of chance to throw their own ideas or thoughts off another person because nobody else is interested. And that's a nice thing about these cons is you get people who share a similar interest, especially in some of these panels. They want to be in that panel and listen to what we have to say about the show and give their own input about it. And it really helps make fan panels not only better because you get more contribution, but it gives a lot of people a chance to, sort of identify with a group of people who like the same things they do.
It's something really strange, and it's kind of going to sound like it's coming out of left field. I was marathoning Z Nation the other day, speaking of sci-fi, and shows that are actually pretty good when you think about it. My cat, Rose, is fascinated by zombies on that show. She will sit there and watch it. Not just sit there because I'm sitting there, but sit there and watch the show. Mm-hmm. And it's a little scary. My cat sits there and watches it and likes it, apparently.
That was out of left field. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So
I'm waiting to see what the next. Okay.
No, I mean, she'll sit there and watch it. And because Gary said,
I was going to
no
say
one else in the room to talk about it with, you know.
Well, you can talk about it with Russ.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things I kind of want to highlight about Dragon Con, how it's a little bit different. And maybe people who like maybe go to anime cons are used to this, where, you know, not every panel, like people, when they think of like sci-fi and fantasy, they think of Comic Con, where it's the actors on stage and it's the studio giving you a panel and you can ask questions about the show and stuff like that. And Dragon Con, while it does have some of those actor panels and they're very popular and they're on Dragon Con TV and on YouTube and everything, a lot of it is kind of like in anime conventions where super fans of the show will host a discussion and a panel. So it's not anybody who worked on the show, but people who really like the show or really are good at analyzing the show, leading a discussion of everybody in the room. And you find a lot of that at Dragon Con where you might not find that at like a Comic Con or something like that, where it's primarily, hey, go to Hall H and listen to the actors talk about what's going to happen next season. They're here.
At times they can't even tell you anything because it's, you know, you'll spoil something or they're under some sort of non-disclosure agreement. So you get what amounts to teases as opposed to, like you said, a fan thing where at least we'll throw out, oh, we'd love to see this, or, oh, did you think if they did, you know, that to the character? And, you know, we can go forward with that where an actor, you don't have that luxury.
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes you get those actors going and stuff slips out.
But it's a very different atmosphere because I've been to New York Comic Con quite a few times, and now I have that compare contrast, and I actually find I like this quite a bit better for a number of reasons. But one of them is that if you can even get into the panels at some of those larger Comic Cons, you're not going to necessarily get the interactivity that you want.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like it's a little bit like a PR exercise at the end of the day. And that's not at all what these panels are like. I mean, it's really a passion.
Right.
And that's what I think is a key difference. And as you say, that is more aligned with, as some of our friends on the network could probably say, some of the smaller anime cons. That is exactly what it's like. And I find that's more enjoyable at the end of the day. It's memorable, and you kind of get, you've put a piece of yourself into the con versus just being a spectator.
Right. Well, and that's the nice thing about this con. It is really, it's not one con. It's a bunch of It's about 30 small individual conventions that are just happen to be happening at the same time in the same place. And, you know, you're talking about anime. There's an anime, you know, whole section that you could spend the entire convention just talking about anime or listening to anime
or watching anime. Like there's 2 video rooms that run 24/7. One shows regular movies, and, you know, like in the middle of the night they'll show like Poultrygeist and Frankenhooker and, you know, the B movies and stuff. And in the daytime they'll show other stuff, and then there's the anime room that'll run anime series and stuff. And they're and it's just
and with that, I mean,
24/7.
Things get real fun in the later hours.
I guess tentacles.
Some
to begin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it begins.
Yeah. But, I mean, and that doesn't include any of your typical standards like, you know, comic books or Star Wars or Star Trek.
I think each of those have their own panels.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Or tracks.
So it's really nice that no matter, I'd generally say no matter what your interest is, chances are there's a room that's covering it for 4 days straight.
Yeah, and like one of the smaller, or to me, the less visible fandoms, even though I know it's a huge fandom, this is like their Super Bowl. And I remember because somebody said on Twitter, ever since I was, you know, in high school starting to read this series, I wanted to go to Dragon Con because the Dragon Riders of Pern has their own track. And you don't find that many places that have a full-on Dragon Riders of Pern thing. I'm not into it, but there's a bunch of people that are into it, and they have 4 days worth of programming. So if that's all you care about, there's here.
And it's like taking over all of downtown now. It's
pretty much, or at least this area.
Yeah.
You know, we've now like got 5 hotels and 2 buildings.
Yeah.
So much so that the fire marshal has stepped in. I know you dealt with some of that. You went down to the dealer's hall today.
Yeah, I spent all day in the dealer's hall, which you literally can because there's 3 floors of it now, and just walking around hatching Pokemon eggs. Checking stuff out when I could get a GPS signal. But yeah, it's fascinating walking through the dealer's hall and seeing like all the artists and the stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they're doing their passion.
And that's a nice thing to say. This isn't the dealer rooms here. They're not typically off the shelf stuff that you'd walk into a Toys R Us or a Think Geek store or just order online. I'd say half to almost 3/4 are all custom made pieces that that these vendors are selling. You'll find stuff. I know my son has a passion for Fallout. There's there's 2 or 3 stores where they have any different bottle cap you could imagine, and a whole bunch of other like Nuka-Cola stuff.
Yeah.
And this is not stuff that you're going to be able to order through Amazon, no matter what search word you put into it, because they don't exist. These are all handmade things, and that goes through to clothing, corsets, leather work,
Fezes.
There was a whole Fez booth.
There's a whole Fez booth. I heard they were cool. I said that to him, and I've said, nobody said that to you in the last 2 minutes, correct? He's like, that's right. Nobody said that in the last 2 minutes.
Yes.
3 minutes ago, somebody said that.
But yeah, so you get to see you get to see a lot of unique items that you would not be able to see or purchase anywhere else.
I found an artist, and this to me, because I'm a cat dad, and this artist, they did all fancy fantasy stuff, cats in fantasy settings, and happened to see these print that they had that looked like my cats. Like, that's awesome. I will have to buy that.
Yeah, no, I've got a friend. He does hand drawings, and he does a lot of tabletop role playing books. And so like he's worked on in World of Darkness. He's worked on Star Wars. I think he's done some Pathfinder stuff. And so he has a booth in the dealer hall, and what he does is he goes and he'll sell like art books and stuff, but a lot of these artists will also do commissions. And what he specifically does is he's like, tell me about your D&D character, and he'll draw your D&D character for a commission.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he'll draw your character or something from your game or whatever, but then you can also buy his prints and stuff, and like he does like a lot of Grumpy Cat because he loves Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy Cat's awesome.
So he's got a lot of Grumpy Cat. Talon Dunning is his name. I'll go ahead and name drop him because he's a friend of mine. Yeah, so he travels around, and that's what he does.
Probably one of the most interesting things I saw was the booth that had gaming tables.
Yeah.
And they were jumping up and down on them to prove how sturdy they were. And there were, it wasn't just cheap gaming. I mean, it was nice, solid wood stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of one thing I got today that was custom made is one of the things that has really come out and a lot of people like are Lego minifigs. And these custom Lego minifigs.
I've picked up a few.
So like there are places that they'll have the they have all of the comic book superheroes and stuff as custom minifigs, things that Legos don't do, but they plug into the Lego Lego bricks and stuff. And there was one place that also had which it's probably out of place at Dragon Con, but I saw some like college logos, and I saw some like sports players like baseball players and stuff. And this place sells is a reseller of Lego and Lego type figurines, but they also do screen printing on the Legos. And I walked around, and there was this one thing that had a whole bunch of colleges, like college things, and for $10 you could, if they had a screen print of that shirt, you could tell them what head you want, what hair you want, and what color pants you want, and for $10 you can get that minifig. And so I got myself wearing because I went to University of Georgia, wearing the Georgia G. And so I bought myself as a minifig today at that booth.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cute. They had started off selling stuff. Basically, they just break open packs and sell them. But now they've gone to severe customizations with them. And I've bought a Green Lantern before they made one, and even a Jean-Luc Picard I have.
Yeah. Now, what I have seen some people do, and not here, but at Fandom Fest, what I saw somebody do is somebody was selling, like, I was like, oh, that's cool. They've got a Gandalf, and they got the Doctor, and there's a Superman, and I'm looking up there, and I'm like, those are the Lego Dimensions figurines, and they're selling them for $30. So what they're doing is they're buying the Lego Dimensions packs for $20, taking the minifigure out, leaving the base in the pack, and then just selling the minifig by itself for $30. I'm like, I don't know if that's brilliant or mean.
It's brilliant. I mean, you make a buck.
But yeah, but there are people that make a lot of the custom figurines, and you'll like see some of the same ones at a lot of the resellers. But I mean, hey, if you're looking for custom minifigs that Lego doesn't make, you can find a lot of them here.
Awesome ones. I'm like, I have to go back and check out that booth and see if they do.
It's on the third floor on the side that's right near the exit on the side that's not Comics Artist Alley.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
What if they do superhero logos? I have to get me.
Yeah. They may not have them here, but they can screen print anything.
Okay.
So yeah, look for them.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff.
So we're coming up to the end of this. This is going to be the last segment of. We're just doing Friday and Saturday. This is airing at VOGnetwork.com, live on our radio feed Sunday night during my normal time. Coming up on YouTube at some point in the next 5 years, maybe. Since we're going to wrap up here, once again, kind of plug. Y'all are on the same show. So somebody plug the show and just where people can find it and listen to it.
All right. The Critical Myth Show. It runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday on VOG Network. Believe is it 7 or 8 o'clock? I think it's 7 to 8.
7
to 8 Eastern.
British Invaders is at 8.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. See.
And then he's at 9.
Right. So that's Monday nights. We're all on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's cool.
And you're on Wednesday and Friday nights.
Yes.
At 7. Because you guys do 3. Well, I mean, you do 1, but it comes out 3 times a week.
Correct.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah, our show basically we don't just cover the episodic discussion, although that is at the heart of it. But over the course of the 3 episodes in a given week, we'll do recent genre news, and we cover all kinds of news. I mean, we do not just TV news, we do movies, we do comic books, we do anime, we do casting news. So we'll even say what's coming up. Yes, Edmund actually has one of our other hosts actually has a bell.
Yeah.
A physical bell, yes, it's not sound effects.
For whatever reason, I can't remember why it started. I think his cat knocked over the bell just as we were about to do casting news one day, and it rang. And we say, now we have to do it every single time.
Every time.
Yes, and now we do. So we start off our week usually with the genre news from the last week or so. Then we go into episodic discussion, and then we usually have some kind of open topics where we just get into whatever it is that we might have been doing recently, whether it's going to Dragon Con, going to other conventions, or just seeing movies that we haven't been talking about.
Or books we've read.
Yeah, right. So we try and personalize it a little bit as we get towards the end of the week. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we do have our podcast feed. It premieres on VOG Network, and then usually the podcast episodes come out a week or so after.
Right. And then Brad, you're on PodCulture.
Yep. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on VOG Network, and eventually the episodes hit the feed. Eventually, yeah. But we cover similar ground to Critical Myth, but in more of a popcorn round table. Random kind of fashion. But yeah, we've been doing it, and it's interesting to hear how folks can take similar premises and just completely go in different directions with it.
All right, and I'm Bobby Blackwolf. I don't do anything like any of that. I talk about video games for an hour every, and I do it live. So I'm Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right before Orange Lounge Radio. Rob, who was here in the first segment, he is out partying. So he couldn't be here with us tonight, but he sends his love. And I talk about video games, and it comes out on the podcast feed later in the week. So check us out. And also we're here at YouTube. So like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for, interviews from conventions. Some of my Tesla videos and stuff are coming up. So enjoy us here and check us out at VOGnetwork.com. Sign up on the site, get some loot. We have some participation trophies and loot and stuff that we drop for people that log into the site. But thank you guys for coming out here on a Saturday night. I know it's party night, so we're gonna head back. Your shoes are lit up. You're ready. Oh yeah, you're ready to go.
They are.
So we still have 2 days left of con. We're gonna be at the Parsecs. You're up for a Parsec.
Yes, sir.
You better win.
I certainly hope so.
I'm gonna go up in Kanye when you win, because I'm gonna say that I was really the best.
You are.
I know.
Between you and OLR, I have spent way too much damn money.
So we're going to be presenting at the Parsecs. Rob and I actually have a panel tomorrow, which we don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. Hopefully the reviews will be good. So we'll probably talk about that on our shows next Sunday night when we are back. So thank you guys for listening and watching and participating at VOGnetwork.com and here on our YouTube channel of VOG Network. We're going to go party. Bye-bye.
Yes. Later.